Good opening day, everybody. It's Jim, it's Sean, it's Amadeus, and we are here on opening day for baseball. And I know it's opening day because the Nationals are already losing 3-1. So
they have it. They have
a home run.
They have one more World Series title than the Yankees have since in the last decade. So
True.
The Yankees, the Nationals, and the Braves have one more World Series title than the Yankees have. It's funny. I know the Yankees are playing here. They're up 1-0 here at the end of 3. And when we do the ESPN show last year,
mm-hmm.
I went to school in New York. I used to go to Yankee Stadium 5 minutes from my campus. I used to go. So, I always bust on the New York people. So the Yankees in May were, 45-10 or whatever they were.
Yeah.
Stupid. When they were I kept saying, I'm like, listen, man, it doesn't matter. This is now. The only thing that matters is the playoffs. They still got to beat the odds. So they start, teams start catching them and all this stuff. I'm like, all year, I'm like, listen, people are telling you to bet the Yankees for win the World Series. Don't waste your money. Bet on someone else. Bet on the Astros.
Right.
Bet on whoever. I know nobody had the Phillies, but and you just every week the haters. You just hate the Yankees. Why do you hate New York? All this stuff. Meanwhile, it's my favorite city, and I was right. So
hey, you live in Philly. Don't say that, Sean.
What's that?
You live in Philly. Don't say that.
Well,
New York's your favorite city.
I live outside of Philly. So, once again, the Yankees got LeMahieu and Judge and Rizzo and Stanton and Donaldson and Gleyber Torres and Cabrera and whoever Trevino is and Anthony Volpe, the New Jersey Del Barton kid, leading all, playing short opening day.
They got a $310 million pitcher that can't win.
Yeah, Derek Cole, pitching. He can't, who's in a 7-game series, who's leading this team? Look at their roster with the pitchers. Jonathan Luisiga, that's my guy from Trenton Thunder. He's about this big, great, nice kid in the world. He always had time for me. Really, really nice guy. German, all these. You go down the list. A lot of these guys. Who's winning the game other than Cole? And Cole doesn't even win games when it gets to, the end of the season. Their catching staff is Higashioka and Trevino. That could be an issue. Everybody wants to look, and when you look at the futures right now for baseball heading into, because it is opening day. Right now, the great value, Astros plus 625, Dodgers plus 700, but Dodgers, lost their shortstop, obviously very good, but in all this winning that they've done in the last decade, divisions and stuff, they have one World Series title. They got cheated out of a couple, but whatever, they didn't win.
Well, I tweeted out when I started, the pregame show today. I tweeted out good luck and all that to the Nationals, but you're playing the World Series title, champion Braves today.
Yeah.
I don't think the Braves are balanced.
Braves are the best team in baseball right now. I have them at number 1, for my power rankings. Let me see if I can actually post my.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah. Amadeus, I didn't realize this, but when they called, how they bring everybody out for the opening ceremony they go line up on the baselines.
Yeah.
I knew 5 players of the Nationals, of the whole roster. And I'm thinking, when was the last time that I only can name 5 guys on the team? It's like,
yeah, that's the kind of year they're going to have.
Yeah, it's like, hello.
That's that's me that posted the
Braves, Houston, okay.
Braves, Yankees. I think I had the Mets higher. Well, I think that Diaz injury is going to be really big for them.
Oh, man, don't sleep on Deep Pockets Cohen. Don't sleep on deep pockets, Cole.
I think by the end of the season they'll be better, but like right now, until they figure out who they're going to get there, yes, they're going to definitely sign somebody. Dodgers once again. I think that Padres team, getting Bogarts, they're really good. The Mariners are good, made the playoffs. The Blue Jays are good. The Rays are good. The Guardians are good. Remember, everyone kind of the Guardians, they're not that good. I mean, they won 92 games last year, so. When you look at the standings from last year, let me see if I can pull those up here. I don't know if everybody will remember those.
Well, they did win the division, and honestly, they'll probably win the division again. I was actually thinking
about the Yankees.
The Guardians.
Guardians, yeah. The Guardians went 9. They won the division by 11 games.
Yeah.
The Astros won the division by 16 games, and the Mariners won 90 games. The Rays won 86. I think they'll be better. That's actually collapsing down the stretch. That they still won 86. The Mets were leading the division the whole way, and then the Braves caught them, and then they got beat by the Padres, if you remember. The Cardinals aren't interesting.
We had Steve. Oh God, why am I blanking on it? Oh, it's terrible. He's hit the ball. He's at the Rays Park today. Should call him. The guy who covers the Rays for Sports Talk Florida, and he said that last year when you go into the locker room before a game, he goes, you'd see guys getting off the bus with with their suitcases because they had so many guys hurt. He goes, you'd walk in and he goes, the guy's standing there introducing himself to everybody on the team. He goes, they kept shuttling guys back and forth, between Durham and.
There's no way the Rays will be the Rays will win. I think the Rays will win 90. They're probably 8 to 10 games better just if they're healthy.
Right.
So that's close to 95, 94 games. I mean, the track record with them. I mean, they always win. Obviously Baltimore is going to be better.
The thing with the Rays is it's more like a system. They got a system set up.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean that's good. They're good. They've had that system for a long time.
Yeah, and it keeps them relevant every year. Maybe they're not the best team in the division, but they went to the finals that 1 year. So they're always a playoff contender, and that system always gives them a chance to make a good run in the playoffs. So
to your point, Amadeus, they have if you go over the last 16 years, they've never been below second in the division. That's 16 years. And they don't sign a lot of free agents.
No, they don't spend money at all.
No. Yeah, they're owned by the company that has the most money to spend.
Yeah,
let's figure.
They got to get.
That's why they have the most money to spend because they're not.
They got to get. They got to get a stadium, or they may be in Montreal in a couple years.
It's time to retire the Tropicana. I mean, me and my buddy have been saying that for years now.
Well,
Tropicana is just a disaster.
The one thing that they did, the city of St. Petersburg, the owners want to go in with a developer and build, a brand new, basically a brand little new part of the city in St. Petersburg. And the city council said, cool, go for it. And so now Stu Sternberg is working with the developers, and it looks like they're going to get their stadium. But it's going to be the same place as the stadium is now. Only, perhaps about 600 yards closer to Tampa than the other one. But
maybe the Glazers could sell them the little ground next to the Tampa Bay Stadium.
Well, I don't know how many people have been down there, but the stadium is on the corner, the Yankees spring training park, Steinberger Field. That's where the baseball stadium was supposed to go. It was supposed to go across the street from what was the old Sombrero, old Tampa Stadium. And then they moved into Raymond James. But that corner was supposed to be where the stadium was going to go. But St. Petersburg built the stadium, which Peter Ueberroth told them, and he was the commissioner of baseball at the time, not to do it, but they didn't pay attention. So, what do they do?
The interesting thing last year about, if you remember, like just looking at the standings, the Dodgers won that division by 22 games, and they ended up not, the Padres went further in the playoffs than they did. So
you know what though, like you can get the Dodgers to win the division at -110 right now, and for a team that wins 100 games every year in the regular season, it just seems like too much value. I know this Padres team is supposed to be good, but like we hear the same story over the last 3 years. They've been spending money like crazy on pitching, on batters, and it's just I don't know. I don't know what it is with this team. They just don't put it together. But I still think there's some crazy value in the Dodgers to win that division.
Yeah, you just look at their roster. I mean, it's pretty good.
I'm looking at the pitching. That's the pitching right there, right?
Yeah, Gonsolin. A couple of these guys are banged up.
There is no way Kershaw's going to give him enough innings this year.
Yeah, okay. They're all going to be mediocre, and then there's going to be that one guy you've never heard of has that breakout season.
Yeah, they have Noah Syndergaard. Yeah, they have Noah Syndergaard. Julio Urias. I mean, he's a beast. I mean, obviously Gonsolin. I think Gonsolin's going to be out for a little while. I think.
Where's Walker Buehler?
Gonsolin was 16-1 with a 2.14 ERA. Where is Walker?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Did he get moved? I missed that one.
He's injured. I know he's injured. I think.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, he's on the 60-day injured list.
Because I knew he wasn't a free agent.
Yeah, he's on the IL. He's going to be back.
Like what? 2 months in?
I don't even know. It might be after that. He had season-ending surgery. He had second Tommy John.
Oh my God!
And now they put it comes back stronger. Oh, it says likely keeping him out for 2023 as well.
Oh, so he's out the whole season.
Maybe comes back at the end of the year, but they probably don't
for a playoff run.
Yeah,
we like your red Google.
They when you look at the
look at that outfield. Yeah, Mookie Betts, JD Martinez. I mean,
it's ridiculous.
They are all-star team out.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's what I was talking about with the value, just to win the division, because it's a team does it every year. They always win 100 games. They seem to be a juggernaut in the regular season. Playoffs a different story.
I was surprised that they didn't sign Turner to a contract, because he was kind of there. He was a key part of that team last year.
Yeah, Todd Bowley spending too much money on Chelsea. That's the problem there.
Zach Gallen.
The money went to Chelsea.
The money went to Chelsea. That's exactly what happened. He's like, do we sign Trey, or do I, finish this deal with Chelsea, and then I got to buy scrubs for that team?
So the Dodgers have 3 pitchers. JP Fireeisen, who once again is Trent Thunder guy.
He's pretty good, wasn't he?
Yeah. He's been. They gave him a shot. The Yankees finally gave him a shot, and he's actually done pretty well. So
Blake Trinan. I know you're gonna laugh, but Blake Trinan is a guy that you want around. I mean, he's got a rubber arm, and he usually he can give you a lot of innings out of the bullpen.
Yeah, I think these guys are going to, the Dodgers, it's just, when you look at the.
Well, the pitching on the San Diego Padres?
Here's the Padres staff. Yu Darvish.
Okay.
Josh Hader at the end of it. You got Blake Snell, who's been.
You got to get there first.
Michael Wacha, who's another guy I know from there. I mean, they have some of these guys that were.
Seth Lugo.
Yeah, they got some of these guys that I don't know what Tim Hill did. They got some of these.
Well, they traded the farm system, so they don't got anybody who's coming.
Yeah, but look at their infield: Xander Bogaerts, Matt Carpenter, Manny Machado, Roughneck Older. I mean, they're.
There's no doubt they're a good team. Yeah, there's no doubt that they can score runs.
Juan Soto, Fernando Tatis, Trent Grisham. I mean, yeah, that Nelson Cruz, DH,
those two teams are just going to beat the hell out of each other.
Yeah, yep. It's interesting. Yeah, let me look at those division odds.
What do you guys think of the new scheduling where you have to play everybody in both leagues, so you're not playing 19 games against your division?
I think it's better because
I do too.
Look, I mean, when you're playing, it's when you're in the NL East or the NL West in the last couple of years, or like the AL East, like the Orioles. Think about if the Orioles would have been able to play like more teams from like the AL Central or like the NL Central or something like this, instead of just playing all those brutal teams in their division. They could have made the playoffs. So, it's just I always thought that like it was all hey, you get kind of penalized for the Rays. I'm like, man, you got to play 19 games against the Yankees, the Red Sox, and the Blue Jays. Hey, no, it's crazy.
Two years ago, the Rays were 18-1 against the Orioles.
They won. They actually won the division. They beat the Yankees out by like a game.
Yep, and you could track it right back to that series.
It was because they were, or however, maybe it was more than the game. They were 18-1 against the Orioles, and the Yankees were like 10-9 or like 11-8. That was what won them the division 100%. And then they ended up going to the World Series. So it's just tough. I mean, you see,
well, it's the same way in the National League East. You
Speaking of the Orioles, they just took a 1-0 lead on the Red Sox.
Oh boy, okay.
That Orioles team isn't bad. They got some. I mean, so this is the Rays. They open with Detroit at home, then they go to Washington, then they got Oakland, 4 with Boston, 3 at Toronto, Cincinnati, Chicago, Houston. Just the White Sox. So they play a decent.
Sparky Anderson years and years ago told me that it is a fallacy that you can't win the World Series by winning in April and May.
They were 35-5 in 1984.
Right.
The division, they went 500 the rest of the way. They were 30 games over 500 after 40 games. The division was over after 40 games. They went 500 the rest of the way, and then they ended up going to the World Series, and they beat the Padres.
Right.
Yep. All because of the first 40 games. They always say that you could never win the division, you could never win the title, and whatever. No, I think you could. Of course, you can.
Right. And Sparky's theory of the case is, he goes, the people behind us in '84, right? He said they had to play 700 ball to catch us.
Yep.
Ain't nobody playing 700 ball, to catch us.
Here's the schedule. If you don't know, it's 52 divisional games. So you used to play 76. You used to play each team 19 times.
Right.
There's 5 teams in each division, so you only play the 4 teams. Obviously, you don't play yourself. So now you only play 13. So you play 64 other intra-league games, like against your teams. It used to be 66, and now instead of 20 interleague games, you play 46 games against teams from the AL or the NL, whatever one you're in.
Right.
And in those, you always get, like, if you're the Yankees, you'll play 4 at home and 4 on the road against the Mets. So, like, whoever your rivals are, like, weird. I think the Braves and like the Red Sox are rivals. Like, I forget who the Rays are. Probably the Marlins.
No, you're right. It is the Red Sox.
Yeah, because I guess they used to.
Well, there was a Boston Braves at one point.
Yeah. So, I think it's pretty interesting. You play, any team. If you're going to get to the World Series, you will have played that team.
The Phillies are the Orioles.
Yeah, because I always
and the Nationals, but they play the Phillies and the Orioles.
Like it's. If I'm an Expos fan, so growing up, so like I would always, if I wanted to go see the Expos, I would just go to Philly. But like, I would always say, like,
I still have that hat.
Yeah, I got a lot of them. I got the jerseys. So, like, I would always say, like, man, say I was an Expos fan living in Texas, Dallas. I would never play. You never see them. Like, if I was the Rangers. Now, the Phillies open in Texas this year, which is pretty cool. Like, if I'm a Philadelphia fan living in Dallas, I can go see a couple games against Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And, the Phillies open with at Texas, at New York, and then Cincinnati at home. And then, they play Miami, and then they go back to Cincinnati, and then they play the White Sox, and then they play Colorado, and then they play Seattle and Houston and the Dodgers and Boston.
That's a terrible schedule to start.
So the Phillies, especially with all those guys injured. The Phillies play 3 games in the division until they play Atlanta on May 25th. So before May 25th, the Phillies only play 3 games in the division. And then they play 10 straight games in the division. Then they don't play any division games until June.
They better have that division won by then.
Yeah, they're going to be. Yeah, that's crazy. So it's a little goofy, like in their side, but it is what it is.
Do you really want that in a season though? And I'll use a soccer example because it just happened in the international break. Like Austria, for example, they're leading their group in the Europa Cup qualifiers. They got 6 points from 2 matches, but you played Estonia and Azerbaijan in your first 2 matches, both at home. Those are the 2 easiest matches that you're going to get. Mm-hmm. Now, the rest of the way is just going to be smack in the face, because you have to play the tougher teams. And even when you go play the 2 weaker teams again, you got to go on the road for those games. So, is that, you got a great start, but is that really something that's going to help you in the long run in certain scenarios?
Well, I mean, it depends on how good your team is.
Yeah, I think the thing with the Phillies now is, they're facing the bulk of the schedule here without Bryce Harper now and
Rhys Hoskins.
Hoskins is out for the year. So, even if they do, at some point they'll probably trade for somebody, but it's not going to be tomorrow. No. So, you're and like once again, I mean, you might not lose the season early, but listen, if you're 19-38. And the Braves are 38-19. Look, you're 19 games down. You're done. The season.
You still haven't played them yet.
Yeah. That's the thing. Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, you could. I mean, the Phillies are in trouble, I think, this year.
Well, the other thing about Bryson, I'll tell you. I mean, I like Bryce. I know Bryce. Okay, his problem is he's going to come back and try to make up for everything that's happened, and he doesn't. He plays like his hair's on fire, which is a good thing until you're hurt. You don't want the guy coming off the injured or the reserve list and start chugging like, I'm going to make up for all that stuff. And Reese is not here, so I got to hit home runs and all that other.
They got Andrew Painter's out.
Calm him down.
Yeah, Andrew Painter's going to be out for a while here. Hoskins is out for the year. Rafael Marchand, 60-day DL. Ranger Suarez. He's on the DL. Christopher Sanchez on the DL. Nick Nelson, 5th pitcher on the DL. Harper's on the DL. Noah Song on the DL. I mean, they're
they got half the team on the DL.
Yeah, and it's a lot of their pitching. I mean, that's the problem. I mean, they do have some pitching, like obviously.
Yeah, I will tell you one thing. If you get a chance, if you're out there listening, folks, and you're in the area of where Sean is. You want to have some fun, go watch the Iron Pigs play, the AAA team for the Phillies. It's really
the
fun.
Iron Pigs?
Yeah, Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs. The Iron Pigs are the train cars that used to move this stuff around from
the steel mills.
The steel mills. They used to move.
Yeah, Bethlehem Steel was up the road. And
that's what the Iron Pigs are. So yeah, it goes back to that big steel place.
The other thing, Amadeus, is all of their games are televised on cable in the Lehigh Valley.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, I mean, they've got a really cool little setup up there.
What year did we go to that game? Was it 2 years ago or last year? The Phillies Mets. Remember that? We went to a Phillies Mets game
in Philly.
Yeah, Philly. We sat in the outfield. It was 5-0, and Philly brought their bullpen in. So they bring this guy in who's struggling.
Was that the 7-1 game?
I think it was I forget. It was 5-0 going into the ninth, I think. And the guy they brought in gave up 3 straight home runs. And the people were throwing stuff. They were winning at this. They were throwing stuff on the field. It was 2 years ago, actually. So they were throwing stuff on the field. His bullpen sucks. So I mean, they Ketchin and Trey Turner and Alec Boehm and Josh Harrison and Derek Hall, and I guess he's going to fill in there. And Schwarber's out there playing Castellanos, but their pitching is terrible. They won the National League pennant despite their. I mean, they just battered teams.
There was the one game last year against the Mets where they were down 7, or they were winning 7-1 into the ninth, and good old Corey Knievel cashing those Mets tickets for everybody that had one.
Yep. Oh yeah, dude. They're.
I've never seen a collapse. I was on the Mets in that game too, and I had already written it off. I stopped watching, and then all of a sudden, I see a 3 pop up on my phone. I'm like, are they trying to come back now? And it just got worse from there.
I'm trying to think if it was 3 years ago. The Mets and the Nationals. The Nationals were down 10-2, and they came back on the Mets bullpen and won the game 11-10. And most everybody had left, and Charlie Slows, who's a funny guy, who's the radio voice of the team, goes, to those of you on that, listening to the game in the parking lot, or for those of you who have gotten home, you missed it. We won.
I remember watching that game.
It was every little, and it was ticky-tack stuff. They get a run here, they get a run there, they get a run here, they get a run there, until the ninth inning when boom, they blew up, got 5 runs, and
Patrick Corbin lasted. This is crazy. Patrick Corbin lasted 3 innings. He threw 85 pitches in 3 innings.
He's trash.
I saw the opening 2 innings, and I will say this for the pitch clock: it makes Patrick Corbin give up just as many hits in a shorter period of time.
Oh yeah, but the crazy thing, Max Fried is already out of the game. I don't understand. Max Fried pitched 43 pitches and they took him out.
The only thing I can, because the only thing I can think of is they came from, playing in 80-degree weather, and they came, and the temperature at game time at Nationals Park was 47. So maybe they wanted him not.
He's got a leg injury.
Oh, he does?
Yes.
Okay. That would be it.
Covering first.
But in fairness to
he got taken out?
Yeah, it was a play over to first base, and he ran to cover the bag, and they took him out.
Those pizza box bases, Jim.
That's right.
That's that extra 3 square inches.
3 inches.
He's grabbing his hamstrings. So in the video,
it happened already. Literally your best pitcher out of the game because of these pizza box bases.
Leaves in a wheelchair. Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, in fairness to Corbin, there was a guy in first. There was already an out. Gets a guy to ground the ball to the shortstop. The shortstop doesn't catch it. He boots it, and that puts guys on base. And then the next guy up gets a hit. Then he's got down a run. So in fairness to Corbin, you got to play defense and fundamental baseball. And then the Nationals that infield is, I don't know what it is.
There was even one, I think their second run was scored. I think it was Austin Riley grounded out, and then they reviewed it and reversed it, and they took the out away. So then there was 2 guys on base, and then that was when they scored number 2 and 3.
Well, it's 4-1 now, so
yeah,
it's gonna be a long season at National Park. But we'll see what goes on. But So I'm looking at your power rankings. The Braves at top, Houston number 2, Padres number 3, Yankees number 4, Mets number 5.
Mets were probably 4, but I dropped them because of the Diaz. But once again,
Right.
They'll find somebody at that point.
Mr. Deep Pockets.
Here's the thing. One of my best friends, and he's a Philly guy, as a matter of fact, Dave Sims, is the voice of Seattle Mariners.
Yeah.
And David, why does Seattle disappoint every year? I mean, come on. They've got the talent. They had the talent last year.
Who's this?
That division. Seattle in the West of the American League.
You know
why
what?
aren't they winning that division?
They're I think Seattle, I mean, they finally made the playoffs for the first. I think they're a team that's like really on the rise. Like I think that team, when you looked at last year, I think they won 90 games. You know, the Astros obviously they're 16 games back, but that team is. You look
I'm not. I agree with you. That team's a great team.
I think it's the thing that's Tommy LaStella, my guy from Coastal Carolina. I liked the playoffs in the COVID year when you had 8 teams in,
right?
Because it's just, you know, this. I mean, it's all right with the wild card too. It's better than that one game. It's better like that one game. You know, man, if you're the Mets, you know, you won 101 games last year, and you know you're out. But like, you know, that one game stuff. I mean, at least 3 games here. You have like if you lose a 3-game series, look, you can't complain.
Right.
But,
and 2 of them are your place.
Yeah, exactly. All 3 of them.
Oh, that's right. All 3 of them are your place.
So you know they got beat at home. So you know, but with the 8 team won, you know, the 3 games. I just thought, you know, it kind of mixed it up. You see
balanced
faces. You let some teams in that maybe are getting hot at the end of the season. I mean, you see what that did for the NCAA tournament.
Right.
You know, FAU. You know, obviously they're hot all year, but like, you know, San Diego State got hot at the end of the year and carried it over. UConn got hot and at the end of the year carried. So like, you know, some of these teams last year, when you looked at the playoffs, you know, the Orioles. They would have been in. That could have been interesting. I would have liked to see what the Orioles would have done, and maybe that builds for this year. But you know, it is what it is. I mean, at least now you got the 3 games, and you know, if you lose in a 3-game series, you can't complain.
If you have the Braves in the first 5, you're in good shape.
That's my first play of the MLB season.
If you've got the Yankees in the first 5,
you already won.
Have a good deal.
You're in the 6th. Yeah. No, it's
Orioles, Red Sox at top of the second, 1-1. Cubbies and the Brewers just getting started in Chi-Town. You know, in a totally non sequitur, I do like, you know, those. Are they supposed to be futuristic uniforms? I'm not quite sure what it is. Baseball's, you know, alternate uniforms. I do like that the black jersey with Southside on it for the Chicago White Sox. That's a cool jersey. The ones with San Francisco, where they've got the fog and you can't tell what the numbers or the names or all that is. I don't know who thought that up, but that was. And then the poor Padres, they're playing with what looks like a little league uniform because it's green, it's pink, it's all kinds of colors. It's kind of crazy. Do the Phillies don't have an alternate uniform yet, do they?
Oh, that blue one, isn't it? I think
that's the one they like to use, the old throwback uniform, which I love. I wish everybody could go back to those old throwbacks. You know, remember the Pirates had like a uniform setup that had like 9 variations on the uniform. It was like gold jersey and black pants, black jersey, gold across here, pinstripes, white pinstripes. You know, the whole routine. It was that was back in the day when I
always like the Pirates hat.
It's a hat with the stripes on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Billy Stargell giving everybody a star. So yeah, That was cool. So, okay, so your division winners are, you said Braves? What's that? We'll go through it. John, go ahead. Give me your division winners.
Mine?
Yeah.
Let me see. I go.
We'll only do this 20 or 30 more times, so don't worry about it. Nobody's going to remember it anyway.
Yankees. It's probably Yankees, but I think the Blue Jays could win that division. Cleveland. Would you like Blue Jays?
No, I like the Yankees.
Yankees, Cleveland, Houston, Atlanta. I don't know, Cardinals. Although some people think the Brewers are going to be better, and I think
they're going to be worse.
I'll take the Dodgers ahead of the Padres. I think the Dodgers, Padres, Giants division. Arizona might be better. I just don't know. Like, I think that division is going to be closer than it was last year. Obviously, 22 games, but I think the Braves. I think clear. The Cardinals clear. The Astros are clear. The Guardians are clear, and Yankees probably win the regular season, but don't win the World Series. The only one I'd be a little bit worried about is the Dodgers, Padres. Right now, the Padres. So you said you got the Dodgers at -110. I have them at -155 here. The Padres at +130. So I actually might take a chance with the Padres at +130.
What book are you using? I got -110 at DraftKings, but minus 120. Oh, okay. Yeah. -120 at Bet365 too. So there's a few that are cheap. You got to shop around these lines. Like Bet365.
100%.
Bet365 had the Mets as the favorite to win their division. And the Braves were like +150 or something. And then I went on to DraftKings and it was the Mets +170 and the Braves +105. So, obviously if you like the Braves, go bet it at Bet365. If you like the Mets, go bet it at DraftKings.
Right.
Yep.
Shopping. So Amadeus, who's your guys? Who's going to win?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty similar to Sean. The only one I would change, really, I like the Mets over the Braves. I love this Mets team. I'm going to take, the Yankees, the Guardians, the Astros, and then the Dodgers and the Cardinals. Me, I said the Cardinals are going to win the World Series this year, Jim. So we're going to take the Cardinals. I think that division's I think the Cubs can finish better than the Brewers. I just think the Brewers are going to decline, and I think the Cubs are going to get better.
Do we know if Christian Yelich is going to play?
No idea on that still.
Okay, I'll look it up.
Corbin Burns is not happy. Their ace right now. He was not happy with the arbitration stuff. So,
and they weren't happy with the way that season ended last year when they traded the reliever to the Padres. The players thought they
Josh Hader.
Well, Josh Hader, it's like they were in the middle of a pennant race. They trade the closer. Okay.
Yeah, some disgruntled things in that club.
Yeah, exactly. I hate to be the same old, but I got to go with pretty much everybody on this. I do like the Cardinals in the Central, mainly because everybody else is dysfunctional at this point. But the race in the East between the Braves and the Mets will probably be very good. And you can't count the Phillies out. I mean, they've been beaten up, but they'll get back. Then out west, I mean, the Padres and the Dodgers. If the Padres and the Dodgers beat each other up, the Giants could really make some hay in that. So,
yeah.
See.
Although they could both beat on the Giants too.
That's a good point. Yeah. They did.
They did move beating on the Giants like a WWE match.
Right. It's like jumps in at the last minute. San Francisco moved that wall away. Remember they used to call it Triples Alley, where you could hit the ball. If you hit it between the center fielder and the right fielder, you could run for days. Well, they moved that. I don't know how they moved that brick wall, but they moved it in, and so they took away Triples Alley.
They shifted it to the left 6 feet.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, how did they do that? I mean, but they did. So yeah, that was good for them, and we'll see how that works out. I don't know. The Giants they have a kind of they're not a lot of power hitters on the Giants. A lot of maybe that's why they did, to give guys a shot. But yeah, I mean it's going to be crazy. It's going to be a good season, and most of the games are getting ready to start. They'll be starting. This is Sean. This is the dream thing. Amadeus and I talked about it the other day. The way the baseball season is starting today is your dream because every hour on the hour there's a game started.
Oh, maybe they Don Garber could hire
maybe the other major league needs to take some notes.
Schedule maker away for maybe next year. I mean, once again,
these games started a little bit before we, an hour-ish before we did, right?
Yeah.
The Giants, Yankees are in the 6th.
Yeah.
The Braves and the Nationals are in the 5th. The Orioles, Red Sox, which started later, is in the 2nd, and the Cubs, Brewers just started. So, not for nothing, there is some, speed going there. Maybe it's just because they're in cold weather and they just want to get off the mound fast. I don't know, but I don't think it didn't seem to me to either Fried or Corbin were in any way, shape, or form bothered by the pitch clock.
No, Fried was probably more bothered by the new bases.
Yeah, that's true. Now
pulled a hammy just trying to get over there and cover it.
Yeah, he stepped on the pizza box wrong. It's like,
We said this was going to happen. And it happened in literally the first game.
Yeah, on the first play where he has to go cover first base.
To like your best starting pitcher too. Oh, one of them. I mean, they have some good ones, but Fried's at the top of the rotation for a reason.
He's a stud. There's no question about that. All right, boys. Anything soccer related today?
No, it's dead today.
Today.
Yeah, it's nothing.
Oh, good. Thank God we had baseball. We had something to talk about. Tomorrow we'll have a chance to talk about the teams that we don't like because of what happened today.
Who's off to a bad start?
1964, Bill Veeck, the former owner of the Cleveland Indians and then eventually the owner of the Chicago White Sox, showed up at Shea Stadium. It was the opening day at Shea for the Mets with a sign that said, "Wait till next year." And there's probably going to be a lot of those coming up. He was the one who did the famous disco, disco sucks between a doubleheader, and they decided they were going to blow up a bunch of disco records. This is the deal that they did with a local radio station, and they literally blew up the center field so bad they couldn't play the second game. When they blew up, a ton of the center field landed in the White Sox dugout. That's how far, the turf went when it blew up. So, quite the character. Quite the character. That's one of the great things about baseball. They got a lot of characters in baseball. So, anyway, so there's your things you could live without knowing. Stats for the day. No, we don't have any questions from Foxy. He must have taken the day off.
Yeah, no soccer, no Foxy.
He's got nothing to do. All right.
He's gonna be in hiding next week as well.
Okay. Oh, you're gonna get him big. He's gonna get him big time.
Okay.
So, all right, boys. So we'll get out of here, and y'all have a good day. And for Amadeus, Sean, I'm Jim. Take care, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.